Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. So, how are you today? Okay, guys. So today, we are going to study a new topic. So let me set up first. Okay, guys. So today we are going to study about immunity. Okay. So what is immunity? So let me keep bigger. So immunity is the body ability to fight infection caused by pathogen or other foreign object, okay, through specific attack of pathogen. Okay, so you have to know what is pathogen. Okay, so pathogen or foreign substance, the example of them are, for example, bacteria, virus, and other chemical things that can harm our body. So as you can see here, immunity is a ability of our body to fight against pathogen or foreign substance. Okay, so you have to know that there are three line of defense, okay, in order to fight against disease. So we have first line defense, we have second line and third line. So basically, for example, if the bacteria enter or attack our body, they will face this line first. Okay, first line. So for example, the first line cannot be defeat. So the pathogen or bacteria, it will go to the next level, which is the second line of defense. If the second line defense also fail to kill the bacteria, then our body will try the last effort, which is the third line of defense. Okay, so this is the strongest stage of defense. However, if the third line defense fail to, you know, to fight the disease, probably the patient will just die. Okay, because the third line of defense is categorized as the strongest defense in our body. So we are going to study the first line defense, the first line of defense first. Okay, so let's see the example. So there are five example for first line defense. Okay. Okay, the first one is lysozyme. Okay, so lysozyme ni is an enzyme. Okay, nama lagi zyme belakang ni kan. So lysozyme is an enzyme that you can find in the secretion of tears, nasal mucus, and saliva. Okay, so inside lysozyme, there is a antimicrobial protein that can dissolve and destroy some types of bacteria. Okay, so basically, when you, basically inside the tears, our saliva and mucus, there is an enzyme where this enzyme is used to destroy some types of bacteria. Okay, the next one is mucous membrane. So basically, mucous membrane you can find in a respiratory tract. Okay, so respiratory tracts means like starting from our nose, okay, and then we have trachea. Okay, trachea. So this is trachea. So basically, inside the trachea, there is a membrane that will produce mucus. Mucus ni lendir. So this mucus also contain enzyme, and the name of enzyme is lysozyme. Sama macam yang atas ni. Okay, so here in trachea or respiratory tract, there is a membrane that will produce mucus. So dalam mucus tu ada apa? Ada lysozyme to kill the bacteria that found in the air that enter our respiratory system. Okay, so when we breathe the air, we never know, okay, what is the content inside the air. So okay, the mucous membrane will produce mucus that contain lysozyme to kill any bacteria or pathogen that present in the air. Okay, the next one is mechanism of blood clotting. So basically, this will be helped by our platelet. Why? Okay, because for example, if you suddenly cut your hand, okay, accidentally cut your hand, so for sure you are bleeding. So when you are bleeding, your blood vessel is exposed to the environment, because we know the environment will contain bacteria. So the blood clotting, okay, will be done by platelet, so that this region, okay, this infected area, okay, there is a blood clotting. The blood clotting will block, okay, will block our blood circulation from environment. Okay, the next one is hydrochloric acid. Okay, hydrochloric acid is actually produced by our stomach. Okay, this is our stomach. So the stomach will produce hydrochloric acid to kill any bacteria present in your food or in your drink. Okay, the higher the number of bacteria present in the food and drink, the higher the number of hydrochloric acid will be produced. Sebab itulah bila awak makan makanan yang ada banyak bakteria atau berbasi, awak akan sakit perut. Why? Because hydrochloric acid will be secreted more. Why? To kill more bacteria. Sebab tu kita sakit perut. Hydrochloric acid sifat dia menghakis. Dia hakis apa? Dia akan hakis dinding perut kita. Sebab tu kita sakit perut. Okay, and the last one is skin. So this is our skin. So our skin is a physical defense that prevent the entry of pathogen because it is tough and it is difficult for microorganism to penetrate. So bila kita ada skin ni, skin kita ni akan prevent any microorganism ataupun bacteria from entering our body. Okay, so our skin is made up by dead cell. Okay, dead cell, and it's very difficult. Okay, so when we have that cell, okay, on the skin, so it means that it's very difficult for microorganism to grow. Okay, and then act as a chemical shield through a secretion of sebum. Okay, sebum, oil and acid, okay, in the sebum will present the growth of various microorganism. Okay, basically the secretion of sebum ni selalunya ada dekat kita bahagian muka kita. Okay, ni kat muka kita ni, there is a secretion of sebum. Okay, sebab tu lah ada certain orang muka dia berminyak. Okay, berminyak sebab apa? The secretion of sebum, okay, banyak berlaku dekat muka. Okay, so what you can find inside sebum? You can find oil and acid. Kenapa kena ada benda ni? To prevent the growth of microorganism. And the last one, we know that under the skin there is a sweat gland, kelenjar peluh. Okay, so this sweat gland will secrete sweat. Dalam sweat pun ada lysozyme. So lysozyme untuk apa? Untuk kill the bacteria. Okay guys, so I think that's all for first line defense. Let's go to the next one. Okay, the next one is second line defense. Okay, second line defense ni ada 3 contoh. Okay, we have fever, phagocytosis and inflammation. Okay, we go one by one. So fever, demam. So when you are attacked by bacteria, surely you will have fever. So actually fever is second line defense. Why? Because by having fever, you will increase phagocytic activity. Okay, phagocytic activity and fight against microorganism that infect the body. Okay, phagocytic activity tu apa cikgu? Phagocytic activity is also known as a phagocytosis. Awak tengok nama dia, term dia lebih kurang kan? Phagocytic, phagocytosis. Phagocytic and phagocytosis are the same thing. Apa maksud phagocytosis cikgu? Ni kita nak tengok ni. Okay, so kita tengok this is what we call phagocytosis. Ni proses ni, nama dia adalah phagocytosis. Okay, so phagocytosis ni apa? Awak tengok Phagocytosis, ni dia punya definition. Sekejap. Okay, phagocytosis is the process by which microorganism or other particle such as that cell are trapped and digested by phagocyte. Okay, by phagocyte. Okay, so in other words, I would say phagocytosis is a process where phagocyte will trap and digest microorganism ataupun pathogen ataupun dead cell. Cikgu, phagocyte tu apa cikgu? Okay, phagocyte is a types of uh, white blood cell. Ingat tak kita belajar white blood cell? White blood cell ada banyak kan? Okay, so phagocyte is also one of the white blood cell. So awak tengok kat sini. Phagocyte is a leukocyte. Leukocyte tu adalah white blood cell lah. Ingat tak kita belajar leukocyte tu. Okay, phagocyte is a leukocyte that can carry out phagocytosis. Okay, the example are neutrophil and monocyte. Nama lain dia adalah phagocyte. Okay, so macam how phagocytosis happen. Okay, awak tengok So this is ni yang the whole thing here. This is phagocyte. It could be ada neutrophil ataupun monocyte. Contoh dia ada dua, sama ada neutrophil ataupun monocyte. Okay, so in general we call this thing as a phagocyte. Why? Because they do phagocytosis. So here they will tell you how phagocytosis can happen. Okay, kita pergi satu-satu. Tengok nombor satu dia cakap phagocyte will extend its pseudopodium towards bacteria and envelop the bacteria. Okay, ingat tak pseudopodia? Okay, for those who don't remember, pseudopodia is like a finger-like structure. Dia seperti jari kita, which is made up by the cell to engulf the bacteria. Okay, so firstly, phagocyte tu it will form ataupun it will produce pseudopodium. Dia akan hasilkan pseudopodia. Pseudopodia ni maksudnya adalah structure macam ni lah. Structure yang memudahkan dia untuk menangkap bakteria. Okay, so it is called pseudopodia ataupun pseudopodium. Okay, pseudopodium is singular. Pseudopodia is plural. Okay, sama saja. So the first one, this phagocyte, it will extend its pseudopodia to trap the bacteria. Dia nak tangkap and then they trap. Okay, once it's trapped, okay, it will form phagosome. Ni phagosome ni. Phagosome ni maksudnya adalah vesicle yang ada bakteria. This is phagosome. Okay, so after that, inside the phagocyte, there is a lysosome. So lysosome, it contain lysozyme. So lysozyme, okay, lysosome tu dia akan buat apa? Okay, phagosome will combine with lysosome. Phagosome will combine with lysosome to secrete lysozyme into phagosome. Awak tengok kat sini. So lysosome ni dia akan merge dengan phagosome. Sebab apa? Sebab dia nak transfer lysozyme. Enzim tu lysozyme lah. Okay, dalam phagosome. Okay, so the combination between lysosome dengan phagosome, nama dia adalah phagolysosome. Banyak pula som-som ni kan. Okay. Lepas tu apa jadi? Sekarang ni we know that lysozyme can enter to the phagosome that contain bacteria. So apa yang akan dibuat? So bacteria in the phagosome is destroyed by lysozyme. So dia bacteria macam ni kan, tiba-tiba dia matilah sebab apa? Dibunuh oleh lysozyme. So phagocyte ni dia akan expel the remaining of digested microorganism out of the cell. Dia akan buang. Okay, so bakteria tu matilah. Itu orang panggil proses phagocytosis. Okay, for those who want to copy this this note, you can pause the video and copy the note. Okay. So we have apa ni? Ya okay, so we have discussed for fever and phagocytosis. The last one for second line defense is inflammation. Okay, apa itu inflammation? Okay, jom kita tengok. Okay, inflammation dalam bahasa Melayu adalah kemerah-merahan. Kemerah-merahan. Sebagai contoh, if you if you are cut by nail sebagai contoh, tiba-tiba awak terkena paku, you notice that affected area become reddish, dia akan jadi merah-merah. Sebab apa? Okay, jom kita tengok. Okay, so inflammation is an immediate response that will destroy and neutralize harmful action of microorganism and toxin at early stage of infection, and the inflamed area will swell, turn red and feel painful. Painful pula aku ni. The response to inflammation is described in figure 11.4. So sebagai contoh lah you are suddenly awak terkena paku. Okay, so you notice that the infected area tu dia akan jadi kemerah-merahan, lepas tu dia akan membengkak dan dia akan rasa sakit. Okay, how this happen? Pertama sekali awak tengok, the damaged tissue will release histamine. Okay, so ni tisu yang ada kat sekeliling infected area ni, dia akan hasilkan histamine. Ni awak tengok biji-biji ni. Ni bukan ulat tau, ini orang panggil histamine. Ni, itu dia, histamine. So histamine tu apa cikgu? Histamine tu is a chemical produced by damaged tissue. Untuk apa? So kat sini ada dua fungsi histamine tu. Histamine will cause the blood capillary to expand. So bila histamine tu dihasilkan oleh damaged tissue, histamine tu akan expand the blood capillary. Ni blood capillary ni. Blood capillary ni akan mengembang. Okay, cikgu, kenapa blood capillary tu kena mengembang? So, when the blood capillary expand, the blood flow will increase. So, kalau blood vessel tu besar kan, maksudnya pengaliran darah pun akan jadi lebih besar lah kan? Kenapa pengaliran darah tu kena lebih besar? Sebab kita nak hantar lebih banyak siapa? Lebih banyak phagocyte. Maksudnya kalau when the blood vessel expand, more blood flow can happen in the infected area. When more blood flow can happen, more phagocyte and clotting factor can be sent. Okay, so phagocyte tu digunakan untuk apa? Ni, phagocyte will carry on phagocytosis. Dia akan makanlah ataupun digest any bacteria present in the infected area. Lepas tu clotting factor tu apa cikgu? Clotting factor tu adalah is something that will help the platelet to do blood clotting. To do blood clotting. So ni platelet ni ditulis kat sini, platelet. So blood clotting mechanism is triggered. So maksudnya when blood vessel expand, more blood flow can happen. More blood flow will allow more phagocyte, clotting factor and platelet to accumulate in the infected area. So apa akan jadi? So phagocyte tu it will do phagocytosis to digest any bacteria present in the infected area. While platelet and clotting factor will start blood clotting mechanism. Dia akan buat pembekuan darah kat sini. When the blood clot here, so it mean that the blood, the infected area will not be engaging with in the environment. Sebab kita nak kurangkan engagement with the outside lah. Itu saja untuk inflammation. The next let's go to the last one, which is third line defense. Ni yang terakhir ni. This is our last hope. Tak berfungsi juga, Sadaqallahul azim lah hidup awak. The third line of defense. Awak tengok, if the pathogen overcome the second line of defense, the third line of defense will be activate. So bila second line of defense tu tidak berfungsi, tidak berjaya, maksudnya third line of defense pula yang akan activated. So the third line of defense is immune system of lymphocyte. Ingat lagi tak lymphocyte yang cikgu ajar dulu? Okay, lymphocyte ni is example of white blood cell ataupun leukocyte. Leukocyte tu adalah white blood cell. Kan ada banyak jenis kan, ada monocyte, ada neutrophil, basophil, monocyte, and one of them is lymphocyte. Kenapa lymphocyte? Sebab lymphocyte yang akan menghasilkan antibody. Okay. Ya. Cikgu minum air sekejap. Okay, so kita tengok dulu apakah kita nak cerita sikit pasal lymphocyte ni. Okay, so pertama sekali, lymphocyte is formed in a lymph node, produce antibody. So lymphocyte ni dia dihasil dekat lymph node. Okay, dan fungsi dia adalah untuk menghasilkan antibody. Mesti apa cikgu? Lymph node tu benda pula. Okay, lymph node tu ada. Sekejap, cikgu tunjuk sekejap. Stop sharing. Ni lymph node wak. Wah, nampak ke? Cikgu besarkan sikit. Ni awak tengok. Lymph node tu jumpa kat mana cikgu? Lymph node tu jumpa dalam lymphatic system. Cikgu, lymphatic system tu apa cikgu? Ni awak kena baca sendiri ya. Tak ingat ke? Lymphatic ni selalunya dia bagi warna hijau ni. Kita kan ada banyak sistem. Kita ada digestive system, kita ada reproductive system, kita ada blood circulatory system, dan kita juga ada lymphatic system. Ni contoh lymphatic system kita. So dalam lymphatic system kita ada apa? Ada tonsil, ada thymus, ada spleen, dan juga ada lymph node. Lymph node ni yang macam biji-biji ni, awak tengok ni. Ni biji-biji ni. Cikgu besarkan lagi. Oh, tak nampak lah. Bodohlah gambar ni. Biji-biji ni lymph nodes. Ni yang bulat-bulat ni. 1, 2, 3. Ada banyak kan. Atas pun ada juga ni. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ni orang panggil lymph node. So lymph node, okay, is the place where the lymphocyte is produced. I repeat again. Lymph node, okay, is the place where lymphocyte is produced. Apa fungsi lymphocyte? Menghasilkan antibody. Okay. Okay, let's go back to our books. Okay. Kenapa macam ni pula? Sekejap sharing. Okay, so ni lymphocyte is formed in the lymph node and the function is to produce antibody. Ni awak tengok ni. The action of antibody are specific. Okay, each of antibody can only combine with a certain antigen. Okay, so maksudnya adalah ni awak tengok, the action of antibody are specific. Sebagai contoh, kalau bakteria A, kita mesti hasilkan antibody A. Kalau bakteria B, mesti hasilkan antibody B. Itu maksud spesifik. Maksudnya adalah sebagai contoh lah, awak demam. Takkanlah awak nak makan ubat batuk. Faham tak? Mestilah awak kena makan ubat demam juga. Boleh faham maksud cikgu? Okay, so ni, when a person is infected with pathogen, a large number of lymphocytes will accumulate in a lymph node to destroy antigen and foreign substance, and this will cause the lymph node to swell. Yang biji-biji tadi tu, bila awak ni kena infected dengan pathogen, kawasan tu dia akan membengkak. Sebab apa? More lymphocyte will accumulate. Accumulate tu maksudnya dia berkumpul banyak dekat situ. Untuk apa? Untuk menghasilkan lebih banyak antibody. Okey, dekat lymph node juga, tempat yang biji-biji tadi, ada juga macrophage. Cikgu, macrophage ni apa benda pula cikgu? Banyaknya term. Okey, macrophage ni fungsi dia sama juga seperti phagocyte. Iaitu dia akan buat phagocytosis. Yang ni is another name for white blood cell. Sebab cakap white blood cell ni ada banyak jenis. Tapi yang awak belajar baru ni sikit saja. Tapi ni ada nama baru pula. Okey, macrophage ni dia sama fungsi seperti phagocyte, which they can do phagocytosis. Okey. Untuk apa? Untuk destroy bakteria. Lepas tu lymphocyte ni, you see here, there are two types. Okay, ada dua jenis lymphocyte yang dihasilkan dekat lymph node ni. We have T lymphocyte, we have B lymphocyte. Okay, two of them will carry different function. Apa fungsi dia? Okay, awak tengok. Kalau T lymphocyte, fungsi dia adalah attack cell infected by pathogen. Maksudnya sel yang dah kena dengan patogen. Sebagai contoh, patogen tu dia attack sel A. So T lymphocyte itulah yang akan bunuh ataupun attack sel yang infected by pathogen. And then T lymphocyte tu untuk apa? Cikgu, macam mana T lymphocyte tu dia attack sel tu? Dia akan hasilkan antibody lah. Okay, kalau T lymphocyte tu fungsi dia apa? To stimulate. Lepas tu ada, okay, sorry. T lymphocyte ni ada dua fungsi. Okay, cikgu ulang balik pening dah cikgu ni, banyak sangat. Okey, sekali lagi lymphocyte ada dua jenis. T lymphocyte dan juga B lymphocyte. Kalau T lymphocyte ada dua fungsi dia. Pertama sekali, T lymphocyte ni fungsi dia adalah attack the cell infected by pathogen by producing antibody. Fungsi kedua adalah T lymphocyte will stimulate B lymphocyte to produce memory cell. Apa pentingnya memory cell ni? If the same pathogen attack, the memory cell will be stimulated to produce antibody immediately. Sebagai contohlah, awak kena infected disease A. So T lymphocyte tu dia akan hasilkan antibody untuk melawan benda tu. Dan at the same time, T lymphocyte tu dia akan hantar signal kepada B lymphocyte untuk menghasilkan memory cell. Bila ada memory cell, maksud dia ingatlah, okey, dulu bakteria A pernah menyerang aku. So buat antibody yang sama. So dia dapat menghasilkan antibody dengan lebih cepat. Okey, untuk membunuh bakteria. So ni awak tengok kat sini. Okay, so figure 11.5. Okay, the antigen molecule will combine with antigen receptor site found in the antibody molecule. Ni antibody, ni lymphocyte. So lymphocyte akan menghasilkan antibody. Okay, tak apa. Nanti ni next page kita akan belajar detail lagi. Okay, next. Okay, the action of antibody. Awak tengok sini. Okay. So the action of antibody, ada berapa? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5. Okay, 5 action how antibody is used to fight against antigen of the bacteria. Okay, cikgu, antigen tu apa, cikgu? Pening lah, cikgu. Ni awak tengok ni. Selalunya virus ataupun bakteria ni, when they infect our body, they will release antigen. Ni awak tengok. Ni yang bulat-bulat ni kan. Ni yang bulat-bulat ni adalah virus ataupun bakteria. So, okay, on its surface, dekat permukaan dia ni ada sejenis bulat-bulat ni. Bulat-bulat ni nama dia antigen. So, antigen ni lah yang akan dikesan oleh antibody. Boleh faham? So bila antibody ni bertindak kepada antigen, antigen tu akan deactivate. Bila antigen tu deactivate, we can say that automatically the virus or bacteria will be dead. Sebab apa? Antigen dia tidak berfungsi. Sebab tu antibody ni, it will act on the antigen. Okay, so there are 5 way how antibody can works. Pertama sekali, prosesnya nama dia adalah agglutination. Dalam bahasa Melayu, penggumpalan. How this happen? So, pertama sekali, the antibody will coagulate the pathogen. Dia akan menyebabkan pathogen tu membeku. Freeze. Okay, the antibody will coagulate the pathogen and make them an easy target to trap and destroy by phagocyte. So maksudnya T lymphocyte tu dia akan hasilkan antibody. So ni awak tengok antibody ni. So antibody ni fungsi dia adalah untuk menyebabkan pathogen tu dia coagulate. Dia freeze. So bila freeze, okay, so they are going to stick together. Bila dia stick together, so this give chance for phagocyte to engulf, to kill or to do phagocytosis. Faham tak? So, bila dia freeze each other, dia akan gather around. Bila dia gather around, maksudnya phagocyte tu akan buat phagocytosis lah untuk makan semua ni. Boleh? The next one is neutralization. Awak tengok ni. Ni bukan patogen, ni toxic. Okay, so antibody will bind with toxic to produced by bacteria and neutralize the toxin. Okay, ni dia akan neutralize lah. Neutralize tu maksudnya dia akan tukar daripada harmful jadi harmless. Lepas tu apa? Precipitation. Macam mana precipitation ni? The antibody react with dissolved antigen to form insoluble complex. Okay, apa maksud dia? Okay, dissolve. Sebab aku nak tahu, some of the bacteria, dia punya antigen can dissolve in the blood. Dia larut dalam air. Bila larut dalam air, it's very hard for us to kill them. So what will happen is that the antibody ni, dia akan tukar dissolved antigen tu, dia akan jadi insoluble complex. Soluble tu maksudnya larut. Kalau insoluble jadi tak larut. Maksudnya dia akan jadi pepejal lah. Faham tak? Bila dia jadi pepejal, it's easy destroyed by phagocyte. So bila dia dah mengeras ataupun dia dah jadi solid kan. So phagocyte pun akan buat phagocytosis to kill, to eat this one. Okay. Okay, seterusnya opsonization. Opsonization macam mana pula? So antibody will combine with antigen that act as a marker for phagocyte to recognize antigen and destroy them. So maksudnya antibody ni dia akan combine dengan antigen. Ni bakteria kan. Ni ada antigen. Macam saya cakap tadi lah, virus ke bakteria ke, dia ada antigen on its surface. So what will happen? The antibody ni dia akan combine. So untuk apa combine? So dia akan bagi signal kepada phagocyte tu. Ni dia akan buat phagocytosis. Okay. And the last one is lysis. So apa yang dia buat? Antibody will combine with antigen. Sama macam tadi, dia combine and cause the bacteria to be broken down and decompose. So tengok. Ni. Lysin, antibody combine with antigen. Ni antigen, ni bakteria kan. So bila antibody tu combine with antigen, dia akan destroy. Tegung. Itu saja. Okay, can you understand? Ingat kalau tak faham, awak boleh rewatch this video. Okay, let's continue. Okay guys, so let's continue a little bit. Okay, wait. Macam nak keluar ni. Sekejap je. Mana ni? Okay, sampai dah. Where is it? 250. Ni. Okay, this is it. Okay guys, so let's continue. So the next one, we are going to study about how our body react when there is a change in blood pressure and also the concentration of carbon dioxide in the blood. Okay, so I repeat again. So the next lecture, we are going to study how our body will react when there is a change in the partial pressure of carbon dioxide in the blood and what happens if there is a change in the blood pressure. Okay, so apa pula ni? Okay, itu kisah satu awak tengok kat sini dulu. Okay, kita nak baca, kita tengok ini je. Okay, awak tengok sini. Okay, during vigorous activity, the partial pressure of carbon dioxide increase because cellular respiration. Cikgu, apa maksud partial pressure? Okey, partial pressure tu maksudnya adalah concentration. Concentration. Tapi kat sini kita tak guna terms concentration. Instead, we use term partial pressure. Okay. Okay, kalau kat sini awak tengok, during very vigorous activity. Vigorous activity tu aktiviti cergas lah. Sebagai contoh, awak berlari, bersenam dan sebagainya. Okay, during vigorous activity, the concentration ataupun the partial pressure of carbon dioxide increase because of cellular respiration. Betul lah sebab, okay, bila awak buat vigorous activity, awak perlukan lebih banyak energi, betul tak? Nak dapat energi, awak buat apa? Awak buat cellular respiration. Ingat lagi tak cell respiration ataupun respiration? Formula respiration adalah glukos plus oksigen. So dia akan hasilkan energi, water and carbon dioxide. Sebab itulah concentration ataupun partial pressure of carbon dioxide akan increase juga. Boleh faham? So awak tengok. The carbon dioxide will dissolve in the blood plasma to form carbonic acid. Okay, so when our body produce so many carbon dioxide, the carbon dioxide will dissolve in the water yang ada dekat blood plasma. Cikgu, blood plasma ni apa pula? Okay, blood, kita punya darah ni terbahagi kepada dua. Kita ada blood cell. Okay, kita ada blood plasma. Blood cell tu contoh dia tiga je. Red blood cell, white blood cell, platelet. Kalau blood plasma, yang itulah yang ada air. Yang ada air, ada nutrien, ada antibody dan sebagainya. Sebab tu dia cakap, carbon dioxide dissolve in the blood plasma to form carbonic acid. Dalam blood plasma ada apa? Ada water. Sebab itulah carbon dioxide dia akan bind with water to form carbonic acid. Carbonic acid ni is not stable. So it will be broken down into hydrogen ion and bicarbonate ion. Boleh faham? Okay, so apa terjadi seterusnya? The pH value of blood and tissue fluid that flow to the brain decrease. Okay, pH value decrease. Maksudnya dia become acid, betul tak? Kan pH rendah kan acid. pH tinggi alkaline, betul tak? Cikgu, kenapa pH value of blood tu decrease? Sebab apa? Ada hydrogen ion. Awak belajar tak chemistry? Kalau lebih banyak H+, contohnya hydrochloric acid. Kan ada H+ ataupun hydrogen ion. So kehadiran hydrogen ion itulah menyebabkan pH dia turun. Okay. So when there are more hydrogen ion, this will drop the pH value of the blood and tissue. So tengok. The change in pH is detected by central chemoreceptor in the medulla oblongata. Okey, chemoreceptor ni apa cikgu? Chemoreceptor ni adalah reseptor yang mengesan perubahan kimia. Perubahan kimia termasuklah perubahan pH. Betul tak? Okey, chemoreceptor tu is a receptor that will detect any chemical change in the body. So what will happen? The change in pH will be detected by chemoreceptor yang ada kat mana? Dekat medulla oblongata. Dekat kepala kita ni, dekat otak kita, kita ada medulla oblongata. Medulla oblongata ni dia ada chemoreceptor. So bila blood pH tu drop, okay, chemoreceptor dalam medulla oblongata will detect. Okay, saya nak cerita sikit. Chemoreceptor ni ada dua tempat. Pertama sekali boleh jumpa dekat medulla oblongata. Yang kedua adalah kita boleh jumpa dekat ni. Okey, dekat carotid body dengan aortic body. Ni dia cakap ni. In the peripheral chemical in the neck. Okey, carotid body ataupun aortic body. Ni aortic body ni maksudnya aorta lah. Tahu tak aorta? Tahu kan aorta? Okay, so aorta ni dia ada banyak branch. So branch dua ni nama dia adalah aortic body. Yang ni lah akan membawa darah oksigen kepada bahagian tengkak. Sebab tu dia cakap neck. Hello?
Okey, sekejap
Ada masalah internet kat cikgu ni.
Okay guys, so let's continue. Okay, maafkan cikgu Okay, cikgu ulang balik When the pH drop, this will be detected by chemoreceptor. Chemoreceptor ni ada dua tempat. Dekat medulla oblongata, satu lagi dekat kita punya aortic body dan juga carotid body. Aortic body ni adalah tempat yang mana kita tengok ni awak tengok ni. Aorta. Aorta tu aortic body lah. Yang kedua adalah carotid body. Carotid body ni is a blood vessel present in our neck. Dekat kita punya tengkap. Okay, so boleh faham? So apa yang akan terjadi adalah, awak tengok ni. So chemoreceptor. Okay, kita pergi kepada brain dahulu ataupun medulla oblongata. So apa yang terjadi adalah chemoreceptor tu dia.
Okay guys, cikgu minta maaf tadi ada line tak berapa nak elok. Jadi cikgu terpaksa buat video baru. Okay, tak apa, sekejap Okay guys, so cikgu ulang balik So bila chemoreceptor tu, okay, chemoreceptor kita ambil satu contoh lah, kita ambil contoh brain je lah dekat medulla oblongata ni. So when the chemoreceptor in the medulla oblongata detect the change, this chemoreceptor will trigger nerve impulse. Okay, and then this nerve impulse will be sent to the ni awak tengok, nerve impulse trigger and send. Hantar kat mana? Hantar ke respiration control center and cardiovascular control center inside medulla oblongata. Maksudnya chemoreceptor tu dia akan hantar nerve impulse kepada respiratory center dan juga respiration center dan juga cardiovascular center yang berada dalam medulla oblongata juga. Maksudnya dia bermain kat sini. Okay, so kat sini ada chemoreceptor. Chemoreceptor tu dia akan hasilkan nerve impulse dan dia akan hantar nerve impulse kepada respiration center dan cardiovascular center yang ada juga dekat medulla oblongata. Medulla oblongata ni luas tau, yang warna kuning ni. Okay, so apa yang dua benda ni buat? So dia akan hantar another nerve impulse kepada effector. Kepada effector. Ni effector dia lah. Pertama sekali intercostal muscle. Ni intercostal muscle. Okey, yang kedua adalah diaphragm. Ni diaphragm. Lepas tu cardiac muscle. Cardiac muscle tu adalah muscle yang ada dalam jantung. Okey. Okey. So apa yang akan jadi? So dia maksud bila dia hantar nerve impulse kepada effector, maksudnya effector ni dia akan buat apa? Dia akan buat respon. So apa respon dia? Okay. The breathing rate, the heart rate and ventilation rate increase. This cause more carbon dioxide gas to be expelled from the lung. Breathing rate ni awak tahu kan? Heart rate awak tahu. Heart rate tu heartbeat dia lah. Maksudnya darah tu jantung tu akan pump lebih laju. Ventilation rate tu apa cikgu? Ventilation rate tu adalah proses yang mana awak inhale and exhale. Maksudnya itu maksud ventilation. Boleh? So bila kita buat benda semua ni, respon ni apa akan jadi? Lebih banyak carbon dioxide akan dikeluarkan melalui jantung. So apa jadi? The partial pressure of carbon dioxide and blood pH level will go back to normal. Boleh faham? Itu saja untuk the regulation of partial pressure of carbon dioxide in the blood. Now we go to the last one. Okay, the blood pressure. Okay, the blood pressure in regulation mechanism. Okay, tadi kita cerita pasal chemoreceptor. Ingat chemoreceptor ni. Chemoreceptor tu adalah untuk mengesan any chemical change in your body. Kalau baroreceptor, baroreceptor is a pressure receptor. Maksudnya dia akan mengesan any change in blood pressure. Okay, awak tengok baroreceptor or pressure receptor are located in a aortic arch and carotid artery. Okay, nak cikgu nak tunjuk. Kat mana dia cakap? Dekat aortic artery. Ni aortic artery. Yang ni aortic body. Dua ni adalah aortic body. Ni carotid body, aortic carotid artery ni yang ni. Salur darah yang ni. Kita jumpa baroreceptor. Yang kedua jumpa kat mana? Aortic arch. Mana aortic arch? Ni yang ni. Okay. Dekat aorta ni lah. So, awak tengok ni Carotid artery is artery in the neck. Ni cikgu cakap ni. Aortic artery is the artery that supply blood, okay, from neck to the head. And this receptor detect the pressure of the blood flowing through them and continuously send impulse to the cardiovascular control center in the medulla oblongata and regulate the blood pressure. Okey, jom kita pergi kepada satu situasi. Okey, ni situasi bila tekanan darah turun. Ini situasi bila blood pressure increase. Kan blood darah kan ada blood pressure rendah sangat, blood pressure tinggi sangat. Ni lah. Okay, kita pergi kepada drop dulu. When an individual blood pressure drop, for example, there is a serious bleeding. Bila kita kehilangan darah yang banyak, blood pressure kita akan turun lah. Okay, apa jadi? So, baroreceptor in the aortic arch and carotid artery. Maksudnya baroreceptor yang ada dekat sini dan juga dekat sini, okay, are less stimulated. Okay, bila less stimulated, apa akan jadi? The cardiovascular control center in medulla oblongata will be less stimulated. Dia less aktif lah kot. Less active. So apa akan jadi? Atrial vasoconstriction. Ni. Atrial vasoconstriction will occur. Apa akan jadi? Maksudnya vasoconstriction ni maksudnya kita punya blood, kita punya saluran darah tu akan, blood vessel dia akan mengecil. Okay, akan mengecil. Ni awak tengok. Vasoconstriction tu maksudnya blood vessel akan mengecil. Mengecut. Okay, this add resistance to the blood flow in a bloodstream and stronger constriction of cardiac muscle occur. Untuk apa kita buat benda macam ni? Untuk menaikkan blood pressure. Sebab blood pressure kita kan rendah kat sini. So in order to make blood pressure increase, vasoconstriction will happen. So the blood pressure return to a normal range. Boleh faham? Okay, this will happen when your blood pressure increase, especially when you are doing vigorous activity. So baroreceptor in the aortic arch and carotid arch are stimulated. Awak tukar je ayat dia. Less stimulated, ni more stimulated. So okay, the cardiovascular control center in a medulla stimulated. So apa akan jadi? Tukar je lah, vasodilation. Vasodilation tu macam mana? Vasodilation maksudnya saluran darah ni akan mengembang. Bila mengembang apa jadi? Reduce the resistance of blood flow in a bloodstream. So weak contraction of the cardiac muscular occur. Cardiac muscle ni adalah okay, cardiac muscle ni adalah muscle yang kita jumpa dekat jantung lah. Okay, so pressure akan turun. Bila blood pressure turun, the blood pressure return to a normal range. Okay. Okay, if you want to copy this note, you can pause the video and you can okay, you can whatever lah. You can copy the note. Okay guys, so I think that's all for today's lecture. So I hope you guys can fully understand. If you don't understand, please rewatch the video until you understand, okay? If you have any question, please PM me personal. And then please write down your name and class on the comment section. Okay, that's all for today. So I see you on the next class. Bye bye. Assalamualaikum.